Well, good morning, everybody. John Bergsma here from the Fisherman's Digest. We are here in Cheboygan, Michigan. We're out here on Reynolds Reef. You can see the harbor back in the distance. We've got, 4 rods in the water. We already got a fish on. We're going to show you an awesome lake trout opportunity right here around the Boblo Island and the Port of Cheboygan area. There's just tons of reefs in this area, and it offers an amazing opportunity for guys who just want to get out, catch fish. Stay tuned. Welcome to Cheboygan. We can't get our rods in the water. It's a problem. This is one of the things that cracks me up about the Cheboygan area, is that you're not going to almost ever see a boat, are you?
It's an untapped resource. All the great fishing here, and we were the only boat launching this morning. I got another one, I think, or else I'm into it.
The outside board?
Yeah.
Is that a fish, or are you into it?
Oh, that's a fish there.
That's a
He
fish.
just realized he hooked up, so we got a double going.
I'm going to let that one drag, and I'm just going to net your fish. Guys, this is the type of fishing you can expect out of the Port of Cheboygan. We have literally, we can't, look, we still got spoons on the deck. We can't even get our lines in the water. We're here in the first week of June. They got an awesome big bass tournament going on, but you know what? What you see behind you, this is worth a day on the water. This is worth it. Man, if you're looking for table fare, this is table fare to the max. And I'm gonna let Steve deal with it and show you guys this fish, because I'm gonna reel this one in. Yeah.
Second fish on the same spoon the first one come on.
Exactly, that orange UV. You got pliers you need?
Yeah. 75 coppers, probably only down 15 feet or so. So
Yeah,
you catch
so
a lake trout right on the surface.
Right on the surface. And on our way out, we saw slicks of bugs, because it's calm and we could see them. And I think what you're seeing is they're just swimming around not far under the surface, looking for those carcasses and those leftover bugs from last night.
The DNR claims that when they're young, probably in the few pound range, 30% of their diet is terrestrial insects. And you can see them flying above our heads right here, right now. That's
Exactly
probably what they're doing. If the water's cold enough, they're gonna be right on the surface feeding those bugs.
Yep.
Got
There's
one.
another fish, another 125 we got.
That one's
This is the first time we've been to this structure this year. We didn't have GPS coordinates we're going to. We just have a couple of cans out here that say, oh, we've got a reef, and you're in Lake Huron, which means you have lake trout. You've got to come here. You've got to bring your boat. I know you want to run to Lake Erie all the time and catch walleye, but you can't hardly catch walleye as fast as you can catch these awesome lakers that Cheboygan, Michigan has to offer you. Wow, Steve-O, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. If we have any more go, this is going to be just like a zoo.
Maybe we should only put 2 rods out.
Yeah, right. We shouldn't put this many rods out when you're in Cheboygan, because you won't be able to reel them all in. Fish in the boat. This is a big fish we're Oh my gosh, Richard, you're back on the wheel. I got you. Thank you. We're going to take our time and we're going to leave the live well open, because this thing is going to be full in no time. Now that he's got that one, now I'm gonna go ahead and try the next one. Steve's got that one. Richard's gonna be able to get it once we get close. Okay, now what you can do here, I'll show you how you do this. TraxTex has got this great little chute launcher. So now I can just peg that rod that I was reeling in, gets it out of the way. Steve just keeps reeling that up to me. Boom. Well, right here. Yeah. Okay, Richard, beautiful. No harm, no foul. Look at these fish. Unbelievable. You want to talk about good eating? You want to talk about a ton of fun? First hour of the day, we thought Richard got a little close to the structure. He did. He got just close enough for us to hang every rod.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Crestliner, forged with strength defined by durability. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And Motor Guide.
Guess what, Steve? We have no rods in the water. Hardly. Ah. I'll tell you what. You don't have to wonder if these super slims catch fish. Look at that watermelon. Is that a UV too, Steve?
UV watermelon, yeah.
Here you go.
So far we've had one plant and the rest have been natural.
And we have a live well absolutely chock full of fish, and we're not even halfway done with the first pass.
Didn't even get set yet.
That's a good hit too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to set rods, but I'm not being able to.
Find the fish.
No, you
got
just
swing it my way.
Swing it to Steve. That's the beauty of those offshore boards. And that new little board holder by TraxTex, right dead in the middle of the board, right in the back with the little chute launcher on the back side of it. It gives you a spot to put all of your stuff while you're, going through these maniac fishing situations like we're experiencing. You got to have places to do stuff, or otherwise you're stepping on it, you're wrecking things. Nope. Take it off, drop it right in there. It's a great idea. Jeff and Mel from TraxTex came up with some really innovative solutions to fast fishing, and that board holder right there in the back in the center behind the live well is an awesome, awesome innovation. I'll tell you, yesterday I was using these Dreamweaver Super Slims in Muskegon, catching the heck out of king salmon. This morning we're up here in Lake Huron. Same spoons, just took that whole handful, Steve, you saw them laying right on the dash. We grabbed the same handful of spoons that was whacking kings yesterday, and they're crushing lake trout today. You don't need to go buy the whole store. You need to get yourself a great assortment of these Super Slims, and they are fish catching machines.
With the smelt that's out here right now, they imitate that profile pretty well. That one's
Well,
a blue.
Feels that, what color is that?
Blue-green.
That's
like
been a very
green
good
dolphin,
color. I just can't get over how healthy and how amazingly beautiful those fish are. And now that they eat those gobies, Steve, they taste awesome. You've got some recipes for them. I've cooked them. They're awesome.
They're very mild. They're a firm fish, and they rival the salmon as far as eating quality now.
Beautiful. So for system fishing today, we really utilize 3 pieces of equipment like crazy. Our Garmin, with its mapping capabilities and a split screen. And what we've got here on this side, of course, is our sonar. And then I'm zooming in on this structure, and where we are right here is Reynolds Reef. And it's a really dramatic rise. As you can see, we're in 97 feet of water. If I went 50 yards that way, we'd be in 20 feet of water. So obviously you could not fish this structure without that zoom in ability and that really accurate mapping that the Garmin 93 SV gives you. So we're just skirting. You can see all of our plot trails are just bumping into that 66-foot wall, because if you go another 100 yards, you're gonna have all your lines in the bottom of the lake and it won't work. But if you stay in that right perfect area, you'll see what happened like we did today. Caught tons of fish. Now our Trax Tex rod holder rail mounted system, which is a staple for us anytime we troll. And of course, as you saw during today's show, tons of offshore tackles boards. We use the medium sized boards today because we're pulling short amounts of segmented copper. But you could also use the bigger boards if you were going to like 250s, 300s, and 350s and 400s if you were out in 150 or 200 feet of water. So you've got to have a great mapping unit, even when you're offshore fishing for silverfish like we were today, because a lot of times you're going to be working structure and the edge of structure, and you can't do that without a great mapping chip and a very accurate unit like the Garmin 93 SV.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Strike King Lures, tie one on. Lose, feel the difference. And Wave Pro, best ride on the water.
We're working on fish number 9 and we just set our first dipsy. That tells you just how silly this bite is. Now it's early summer, I think what, June 7 today or 8? And this bite, you know, like all these northern Huron ports, really starts immediately in the spring. I mean, you could have been out on this reef here in the first week of May or even in late April if the weather and the situation permitted, and you could be whacking these fish. This piece of structure, the cool thing about these structures is this one's surrounded by 150 feet of water and comes all the way up to 20 feet. And then it gives you a nice feeding shelf, Steve, there at that 40, 50, 60 foot mark. And it's just almost like God created a little place for lake trout to come and eat, because I mean, this is just the perfect setup for just having these lakers come right from the preferred depth element, which is that deeper water and the colder temperatures, and they just swim up, they feed, they grab what they need, and then they go right back down and they can sit and hold out in the deeper water. So, you know, it's really all about the amazing available structure that's right outside this port of Cheboygan, you know, in Boblo Island area. And then there's a reef structure here on the south side of Boblo that, I'm telling you, Steve, you said it on the way out, that's got to hold a ton of walleye. I mean, it's just got to. This net,
Your little net.
this little net. I thought it was a lot littler of a fish. Look at this sucker. Look at the football. You think this fish has been eaten? It's a Mag UV Dreamweaver. Just like a mixed veggies.
It's got all the colors.
It's got all the colors.
Whatever color that fish wants, it's on it.
That fish has been eating.
Eating well.
Eating well, shall we say. Wow. So let's show you just a few of the things Steve and I fished with today. Steve, take us through the progression. These are, that looks like a Magnum on the end if you were looking for a big king, and then some super slims. What's your basic setup for fishing these fish here in the Cheboygan area?
I generally like the brightly colored spoons. There's a big increase in smelt production in Lake Huron right now, so these are the super slim series, are producing probably 90% of our fish today. I think they mimic the profile of a slender smelt. The standard spoons have been taking some fish. Obviously the teeth marks from today. Lake trout got some pretty sharp teeth, and also even the mags. We run the magnums on the divers and the riggers. When they're closer to the boat, it gives a little more flash.
And sometimes you get a bigger fish or a king maybe that'll hit that, you know, especially on the downriggers and the divers. What's the speed? Talk to us about speed. And I know we've run everything on, these are our big Magnum boards. We've gone, because there's no wind and waves, we've gone to the smaller boards today. But what's a basic speed if a guy is looking to get started? He goes out and buys a few of the deep diver discs from Dreamweaver and some of a good handful of the UVs and the brightly colored super slims. What speed should he be what's a good benchmark speed that's always going to work?
In this cold water, you generally want to go about 2.5 miles an hour.
Okay.
A little bit slower sometimes if they're a little more sluggish, and you can even bump it up. Right now we're running almost all day today 2.7.
Exactly. So, and you've told me that you found that when you get too many lake trout, like if you're at 2.3 to 2.5 and you get just bombarded with lake trout, which can be fun until you want to catch like an Atlantic or a king or a coho or something like that, then you're just bumping it up all the way to 3, right?
All the way to 3, sometimes even above, but generally if you go 2.5 miles an hour, you're going to get both the kings and the lake trout. It's kind of that happy medium.
Well, there you go. Dreamweaver spoons, good piece of water, should put a lot of fish in your boat.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, leaders in trolling technology. Trax Tech, the ultimate fishing system. And Garmin.
This little alligator clip right there makes the release super easy. See that little snap? I can just reach up and hit it with my thumb like that. Just grab the board and hit it. And that's why you never want to secure it by pushing it back like that. Then you have to grab it. You want to secure that clip by pushing it forward. So when you grab the board, you just flip it with your finger, and now you can drop back to the other one and release it. It's a little alligator clip that they make at offshore. I replace them because when I salmon fish, I don't want to take any chances of a violent strike causing my board to become disengaged. I want that board to ride all the way into the boat. Wow. Straight down, Richard. Yep. We like fish that are straight down. Well, the old Beckman has seen 28 years of tournament fishing through the PWT. I've had this net for 28 years. Still have the same net. The webbing, that's a little be desired, and I may need to replace that. But I've enjoyed this net, and it's caught thousands of 10-pound fish between walleye, salmon, and everything else in life. Look at that beautiful fish. That is a beautiful colored one. I'll show you this fish before we release it. Oh. Now take a look at the colors on this fish. Look at that fish. Beautiful gold, the white fins. Awesome fish. They're predators. They got needles for teeth. That front row of teeth is just solid needles. You do not want your fingers anywhere near that. This has been probably probably had 5 or 6 ridiculous days in my life. I've been with you on 3 of them. And this day here in Cheboygan, Michigan, guys, you got to put your small boat, your big boat, it doesn't matter. You could come out here with a 16, 18-foot boat on a day like today. Harbor's maybe 7, 8 miles back. Slick water. You're in the northeast corner of Michigan, so all the southwest wind You get a big blow, you drive up here during a big blow on the other side, and you've got beautiful fishable water. And I'm telling you what, some of the best fishing I've ever experienced as far as numbers of fish and ease of catching them, Steve. I mean, we've caught 30 fish. It's probably 10 o'clock in the morning. We started at 7, so in 3 hours we've caught 10 fish a day, an hour. This is just a really nice fish.
They seem to really dig the UV tape.
Whoa, that's a nice fish right there. Whoa, let me show you.
That boy's been eating.
Oh my goodness. You want to talk about serious fish here in Cheboygan, Michigan? There's some serious fish here, and there's some serious numbers. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. As always, an awesome day here out of the port of Cheboygan with Captain Steve and his dad Richard, showing you all the great opportunities here for the lake trout right here in Lake Huron. We'll see you again next week.
Closed captioning brought to you by Wave Pro. Best ride on the water, online at waveproshock.com.